players voice any displeasure with their program or with their coaches. And I know Colin Carmichael, he can be hard on them at times. He's demanding as a coach, but I think he also is one of those coaches that his players realize he cares about them. And you know what, Colin? As long as they know you care, you can coach them hard.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think a lot of that comes down to the individual players as well. You've got to get the right fit for your coaching style and the right fit for your program and the culture you're trying to have. And thankfully, right now at this moment in time, we've got a great group of kids who really buy into what we're trying to do. It makes life a lot easier for them and us, I think. So that's a good thing.
Colin Carmichael joining us now, the head coach of Oklahoma State Cowgirls, and all is right with the world. It was going to be right anyway by a day, but now it's going to be a little bit longer, kind of what we're used to. Soccer will actually lead off the sports calendar for Oklahoma State. Football will now follow a little over a week afterwards. We expect that every year. This year with COVID-19, you didn't know what was going to happen first, but you feel pretty confident that everybody. Now, does your team have to test again, or have you guys done all the testing prior to the match tomorrow?
So we test again. We tested yesterday morning, but we haven't got the results yet. We get those hopefully sometime here pretty quick. And then we will test again tomorrow morning before we get on the bus. So we'll test at 11, and we should get the results around 2 or before 2, and then we leave at 3:30. So yeah, it's a weird deal. Our fingers are crossed. We're hoping for no issues and hoping that the group that we have is ready to go. So it's a strange one.
Yeah, it's weird. Doc Ivan explained to me, Doc Valjean Ivan, the team doctor at Oklahoma State. He said, Robert, the way this testing goes, Wednesday before your matches or games, Wednesday is the day that tells you if your team will be able to play. Friday is the day that tells you just exactly who will be able to play.
Well, that's right. That's right. We'll know today. Wednesday's the testing, and today's the results. So yeah, we're kind of a little bit nervous. I'm not going to lie, waiting for those test results to come through. And then he's right. Friday, we'll know if there's any individuals that have picked something up basically since Wednesday. And it goes for staff as well. We're all being very careful in our lives, trying to minimize our risk and exposure, but we all understand the reality of anybody can get this thing at any time. And so, we're a little bit nervous as well getting tested on Friday, and any one of us could be told you're positive and you can't get on the bus. So, like I said, it's a unique circumstance. It's a little crazy.
No, there's no doubt about it. And I asked you yesterday, without naming names, I think on Monday when OSU released the numbers they released, that soccer had gone from 1 to 4. Right. So, we don't know who those 4 athletes are, and in respect to them, that we're not going to announce that, and OSU doesn't announce it either. But I did ask you yesterday if now, are you having to do some juggling a little bit? And, hopefully, knock on wood, you get good results today, and then, at 2:00 on Friday. But you kind of never know when you're going to have to juggle.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, regarding the positives, it's our kids the majority of our kids have been here since July 13th, and I think we've had 5 total positive tests. And when you consider how often they've been tested, we think our kids are really trying hard, trying to make good choices and do the right thing, and also recognizing at the same time they're college kids, and it's very difficult for them to make some of these sacrifices that for you and I it's a lot easier to do. So we're trying to be pretty sympathetic to what they're going through and the sacrifices they're making, but we're also stressing to them, if you want to play, these are the things you got to do because you're going to minimize your risk. So we think our kids are doing a pretty good job, and because it's unfortunate. I think as school started back and campus opened up, and we got about 10, 11 kids on campus, right, living in the dorms right now, and they're a little bit more at risk than maybe some of the older kids who are off campus. So that's sort of what we're dealing with. And so, yeah, we're thankful we've got a big squad. We've got 30 kids, and, we've got a couple of kids who won't play against OU, but we'll make some adjustments, and it'll be an opportunity for other kids to play and step up. So that's kind of our mindset going into it.
Colin, one more question that's really not soccer related, but more coach, player, situation related. I mean, we were all that age once. I mean, there's relationships. I know Mike Gundy, listening to some of his post game, messages to teams says, "Hey guys, go find your girlfriend and get a pizza. You don't need to be out on the streets." But then there were other times where they didn't have games or anything. He said, "Hey, in the spring especially, he'd say, hey, this is a great time to be a college student. Go out and have some fun and enjoy, what campus and being in college is all about." That's all gone by the wayside. How many of your student athletes have come to you and said, "Coach, this is not fun anymore"? I mean, we have to kind of, keep to ourselves. Sometimes we can't even hang out with teammates. Going someplace to eat is more of an adventure than probably anybody wants anymore. Uh, I've heard some coaches say mental health right now for the athletes is as important as the physical health. How much of I'm not saying depression or anything like that, just the fact life's kind of a bummer right now. How much do you deal with that?
Yeah, we do. We deal with it quite a bit. We've tried to have multiple conversations with our group, our whole group. We've tried to talk to our newcomers because this isn't what they signed up for. They came to college to have the full college experience. So go to class, play sports, hang out with your buddies, and have a great time. And unfortunately, they're not getting to do all those things, and it's hard for them. The returning players are different. If you're a senior or junior, you've kind of gone through those freshman adjustments and you kind of get it. And, our upperclassmen, I think, are dealing with it a little bit easier than the new kids because they've sort of had time to enjoy all those college experiences that you were talking about. And now they're kind of locked in and, hey, we just want to play our sport and go to school and get an education. So, you're dealing with all very different kids. And it is hard. And I've had a few express that it's difficult for them to, their friends their non-athlete friends from high school calling them up and saying, hey, we're going to go hang out. We're just going to watch a movie. I mean, something as innocent as 5 or 6 people in an apartment renting a movie and having dinner. And we're having to tell our kids, you need to try to avoid those situations. And they're thinking, why? This is crazy. And so you definitely feel for them, but we've just kept stressing to our group, if you want it bad enough, you'll make the sacrifices. And we understand it's tough. And, we've even talked to our group numerous times about if those sacrifices are too difficult, then, withdraw yourself from the team this year. And we'll talk after the season's over about you coming back because, we're trying to do our best as we can for the whole group to navigate this fall season. And if that's something that you can't do, nobody's judging. Nobody thinks you're a bad person. We're just saying, hey, for the good of the group, we're going to have to try and do the best we can. So it's been challenging for the kids, it's challenging for coaches, it's challenging for teachers, and trainers, everybody. It's just really difficult. But the one thing we keep stressing our group mentally is right now you're one of the conferences and the institutions that are giving you the opportunity to play, and so you should be very thankful, very positive about that. Right now we have a game tomorrow, and there's a lot of college student athletes in soccer across the country that can't say that. So I think that's been a big boost for our group to know that they've got the support of our administration and our conference that they want to give them the opportunity to compete, and that's what they all want to do. So I think right now they're good. I can't imagine what some of these other conferences are going through right now. They're training, they're testing, they're doing all the things we're doing. They just don't get to play games. And for me, as an athlete, mentally, that would be harder than anything.
Yeah, and I know you have a lot of friends in coaching, so I'm sure you have some friends in the Big Ten and probably in the Pac-12 and so forth. So yeah, that's not an easy deal. Had a chance to see Hannah Webb and Grace Yoakum on the Zoom call yesterday, and talk about two veteran players, athletes that are pretty squared away. They both are, and I got to think not only with what we were talking about, dealing with those issues and needing assists from actual players on the team, but also getting ready to open a season with a rival like Bedlam. It's invaluable to have those kind of kids.
Oh, those two are the tip of the iceberg. We've got an unbelievable group, Robert, and we're so thankful for the kids that we have. You know, you mentioned two of the best. You know, Hannah Webb and Grace Yoakum, and we got Kim Rodriguez, we got Charmaine Morgan, Cami Huddleston. The list goes on, and Hallie Jackson, and we've just got a great bunch of kids that they truly are here for the right reason. They're not perfect. You know, they're still kids. They make mistakes, but they love this school. They love to compete, and they're here for the right reasons. And their leadership's been invaluable for me, communicating with our team and helping me to understand maybe some of the things they're going through. So we've had very open lines of communication back and forth, and you know, since March basically, and that's helped me keep a handle, and my staff keep a handle on how everybody are doing. So, yeah, their leadership's invaluable, and you know, forgetting about all the COVID stuff, just thinking about the Bedlam game, it's even more valuable because they, you know, they've made sure our kids know that this is the real deal. You know, we don't have any exhibition games, we don't have any non-conference games. We're going right into the Lions Den down in Norman to play our biggest rival, and they've made sure that the newcomers understand how important this game is, no matter what the circumstances, no matter who's playing, no matter who's missing due to injuries or COVID or anything else. You know, we need to go win this game. So they've been great, and really, really thankful as a coach to have the group of kids we have right now.
Yeah, Oklahoma's kind of had some time to gather themselves and get ready. They've been in a kind of a rebuilding mode, and last year it looked like they kind of started to get some things together. As you scout and get ready for Oklahoma, what are you expecting?
Well, it's hard. You know, new coach. They played some spring games, but like everybody, I think they played 2 or 3 and then got cut short. We don't have any scouting reports on them because they hadn't played any non-conference games. They have a bunch of transfer kids come in that we don't know that much about. So, to be honest, for us more than ever, we've just focused on getting our kids as ready as we can because we don't know a lot about Oklahoma. So maybe that gives them a slight edge because they probably have scouted some of our games from last fall to at least get an idea of what we do. But we're really going in blind as far as the staff goes. But I can tell you this, our kids are ready. We're comfortable in our shape and what we want to do. You know, and we'll have to probably make some more in-game adjustments than we usually would, you know, as coaches because we just don't have the information to share with our kids yet. But, you know, that's okay. It's like I said, we're the lucky ones. We get to play. So any of these little things that are going on, once the game kicks off, doesn't matter. Our kids will go out and compete, and we're just fired up to do it.
Yeah, a case like this where you are a little blind and don't know as much about their alignment and what they're trying to do. Are you allowed to, and would you ever use somebody upstairs in the box and communicate?
You know, we're allowed to. I think the rule just changed actually for us that we can have coaches out with the coaching box who can have communication. Brand new rule, but we don't. We never have simply because we haven't been allowed to. But I think last year that changed. But we have not done that. But again, this is kind of a unique situation because usually we've got some video and some scouting reports and we can tell our kids what to expect. And you know, it's quite rare where you're completely blown away by what the other team does. But, you know, in this case, it's kind of like, well, let's see what they're doing and let's adjust as we go. But we won't have anybody upstairs at OU. So we'll just have everybody, you know, in the coach's box in that area ready to go. So it's like you said, it's a unique situation.
Yeah, the other thing too, and I kidded with you about it yesterday. They've got a nice pitch, nice field. I've seen it, and obviously guys are used to working on one of the best soccer playing surfaces in the country, which is another reason it was good they built Neil Patterson where the old pitch was because it's pretty darn good. But I kidded you with the rain, and we're supposed to get more rain today, maybe a little bit more tomorrow. It's going to be soggy, and I kind of kidded. How good is of your team is your team as a mudder? Maybe not mud, but certainly soft turf. They're going to deal with tomorrow night.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fair to say that it's going to be wet, but I think the field will be in good condition. But yeah, we'll find out, right? I mean, just on the surface of it, you look at kids like Webb and Charmaine and Cami Huddleston and Gabriella. I mean, those are some tough kids. So I think they would thrive in that. I think the kids that sometimes have a harder time are your creative kids who want to get on the ball and do stuff. The Olivias and the Grace Yoakums, they may have a bigger adjustment because it might be a slightly different game. But I don't think, I worry more if it's pouring down rain and there's some standing water on the field. I don't think we'll get to that point at OU. I think it'll just be kind of a slick surface, and that should be okay.
Colin, good luck tomorrow night in Norman. I haven't seen, but I'm assuming it's going to be televised, probably on Fox Sports.
It's on. We just got word from Wade. Actually, they're just streaming it. It's not on TV.
Okay.
They're streaming it on their. I think it's through maybe ESPN Plus or Big 12 now, but it's some sort of pay deal. You have to pay the Sooner Sports subscription fee or something of $10. But Wade informed me that you can sign up and then I guess cancel your subscription after the game if you want to. So
after the game,
I believe that's what's happened.
Yeah, just make sure none of your fans that jump on that click on the pay-per-view for the football. That's 55. So
yeah, that's not good.
That's not good. Hey, good luck tomorrow night in Norman, and appreciate your time.
Thanks, Robert. Appreciate it.
All right, Colin Carmichael, head coach of the Oklahoma State Cowgirls.